Okay guys, so this is the second part, and remember I told you it's unstructured, and I'm kind of even now sorting it out as we go. So there's going to be a lot of stops and pauses as I sort out my thoughts and try to organize it. Okay, my question to the cards. This was the first reading that I chucked, right? But I think there are good messages here, so I want to share this with you. So I'm trying to reconstruct based on my notes what happened. It's not going to flow like my other readings do. And like I said, there's going to be some stops and starts as I stop to organize my thoughts before I relay them to you so that it can make some sense. I just have to do that. That's how I am. Okay, so how I laid out the cards was first I wanted this side to be Trump and what he was talking to Putin about in secret. And what the real secret hidden agenda from Trump's perspective that he wanted to discuss. And then this side would be Putin, what he discussed with Trump. I guess in lieu of interpreters being present. So I guess there might be some kind of on the record here because we got the swords and he's taking notes. So this is what they discuss on the record. Wow, really? Okay, and then this is what might have been discussed privately off the record. Okay? Okay, so bear with me. It's not going to be organized. So the first thing I've got is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles talks about juggling and trying to shift priorities. And as a result of that, it's difficult to manage both priorities. Look, this is like transatlantic stuff, so this is kind of like having to do with NATO and maybe the 2%. I'm just looking at the imaging of the card, but it is reverse. So this means that he's not able to manage. He's not able to hold on. There's something he has to drop, or he may be, this may be what he's discussing with Putin, dropping NATO, dropping something, okay? Dropping the ball on NATO, and maybe that he can't handle the task that Putin is giving him to do, because this is instability, which is definitely how we're looking now to the world. America is looking very unstable. Trump is looking very unstable, and this is also someone who's ill-managed. They're not able to do their job, and they have no organization. So he went into this really blind and really unprepared. The next card I have is the Page of Wands reversed. I'm using two different decks. You guys know how I do it. Page of Wands reversed is stupid behavior, an idiotic behavior, imbecilic behavior. Someone who doesn't know or understand very much, even though they can be charming. They're being rebellious, and they're being bad. It's bad behavior. So yeah, he's putting his charm on for Putin, and he's rebelling against the proper authorities, which would be America. This is the card of pledging loyalty, faithfulness, and this is a card of disloyalty, unfaithfulness, betrayal. So Trump is betraying America. He's dropping American values in favor of Putin. So he hides behind a mask of bullying and bragging and blusterous behavior and a lot of double talk. But at the end of the day, it's just disloyalty at its core. And I'm just looking at my notes as I go. he had to relay some bad news to Putin. The bad news might have been that he doesn't think he could carry out some sort of task that Putin gives him, or bad news might be that something that Putin wanted he's not able to do. So I think he may have relayed some sort of some news to Putin that was disagreeable. I also think, in a sense, too, that one of the tasks that Putin gave him to do was to drop NATO. I think that Trump is kind of bragging about the way he mishandled NATO, but that was on purpose, because this is someone with a purpose. So, just to go into the whole NATO thing, I think that Trump relayed to him what went down, and it was purposely done to rattle our alliances, to make them feel unstable and like they can't rely on America. That was the point, and that was actually an assignment given to him to do. It was an assignment. Can you see? It was an assignment given to him to do. So he wants to keep them on edge. We could drop them at any time. He wants to keep them on edge, demanding this 2% or 4% or whatever. Look, 2 pentacles, 4 pentacles, 2%, 4%. Funny. The angry woman here says that there's angry opposition to how Trump treated NATO, and angry opposition to this Putin summit. Again, I know that I'm talking kind of in the present tense, but this is all past tense, so just apply that. Sometimes it's hard to sort things out and keep things in the right time frame, okay? Just, you know what's going on. So, this is anger from everyone. Anger from NATO, anger from the Democrats, anger from the Republicans. There's a lot of oppositions to what Trump has done. And basically he's just talking a lot of shit to Putin about how he complied with how NATO is basically, okay, I think what I'm trying to say is, I think that he shared with Putin some things that he could on the record about what he discussed with NATO alliances. And he may be saying the job of dissembling NATO, or whatever job that or plan that Putin wanted him to carry out with in regards to NATO, that it's going to be a lot harder than he thought, and he's not sure if he can manage it. So there may have been anger on Putin's part as a result of that. I don't know. Again, I'm just telling you the messages that I'm getting. I'm just throwing them out there to see what lands and see what happens. Trump Trump is wanting to show himself worthy to Putin. And he's taking pride in his bad behavior. Almost like he accepted a dare, go out and do this. Putin wanted him to do this, and he dared him to do it, and he did it. And he's like, look, Daddy, look what I did. Look at all the trouble I caused. Kind of like that kind of energy. Now, remember, this is my enemy and conspirator card. And this is someone who's acting maliciously against their advisors and against their counsel. So this is how Trump went into this meeting with Putin. So I feel like on Putin's side, Putin's response, or what Putin is relaying to Trump is, he's got the Judgment card and he's got the Page of Swords. I feel like here he's listening and he's reviewing the situation. He's listening to, basically Trump is kind of reporting to him what's going on. Not only about NATO, but all things, you know, important. And he's in judgment over Trump. And as Trump is explaining himself to him. Putin is really happy about the way things are going, the way the world is turning. He's very pleased about the outcome of events, and he feels that he is the cosmic force behind this happening. Things are going in his favor, right? And he's giving Trump some more time, or a second chance, or a pass, showing some kind of leniency or forgiveness. Or he's either granting Trump a favor, or he is wanting Trump to grant him a favor. I think it's both. What those favors are, probably about the election, and for Putin, more world. There's something about legal freedoms, legal forgiveness on Trump's end. That's what I'm thinking. I clarified with this delay card, which means Putin is feeling like his grand plan is working out well. He's getting closer, I think it's delay reverse, he's getting closer to what he wants, but he's still being fended off or pushed back. But he's a lot closer in achieving his plans than he thought he would be or could be. With the Page of Swords here reversed, there are spies in this meeting. On Putin's end, the meeting is being recorded or surveilled. And I feel that even the interpreter, the note taker, is a spy. I think Trump is relaying some kind of message of, like I said before, of delay to Putin. And Putin's not agreeable to this. And these delays are contrary to his plans. I may have had more cards when I originally wrote these notes, and I can't remember what cards they were. So I know that he's disappointed in what Trump communicates to him, or it causes him some kind of anxiety. And it's almost like there's this fatherly judgment or disappointment. Like he's disappointed in his child. Like, you let me down, man. And I just feel like the symbolism of the card is here. This is Putin taking this leadership, making these executive orders, which are opposed, and then this is Trump bowing down to him, kowtowing to him. Oh, I'm feeling the same way I was feeling before. I'm feeling like I can't thread it together, and what's the point? Maybe I should just chuck it. But let me just try and get through the messages that I have, guys. That I have recorded. With the Five of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Swords here, I feel like Putin is racking his brain about how to get around some sort of setback or delay to something that he wanted, but that Trump is not able to deliver at this time. So Putin is racking his brain, using his smarts and his intellect and his cunning to figure out a way around some sort of setback. He also finds Trump to be very annoying. He finds Trump to be very annoying. Like he's all over the place. He talks too much. He brags too much. He announces what he's going to do before he does it. He shows his hand. And he's criticizing Trump for the poor behavior and the stupid things that he's done. He's getting on Putin's nerves with all of his bullshit. Which is, I think, part of the reason why he has everything recorded whenever they talk. He has it all recorded and analyzed so that he can understand how Trump's brain works. And that's part of his levy of control over Trump, is that he understands how his brain works. I feel like Putin is wanting relief from sanctions. Putin is wanting to no longer be shut out of power, say, decision-making. And he's wanting to disgrace and to shame America and Trump, and to keep us in a perpetual state of anxiety and fear. Because when, like I said in my last reading, when you keep someone in anxiety and fear, they're suggestible to your will. They're so busy focused on what they don't want to feel, the pain of what they're feeling, that someone is able to slip in through the back door. So this is the back door, back channel. He's wanting some sort of back door, back channel, right, of power, or for money laundering. Because this would be washing clean, resurrection, the judgment. It doesn't really show in this card, but judgment is about renewal and getting a fresh chance, a second chance. So you're refreshing something. So it's money laundering, basically. Cards are just trying to say that. He's wanting a backdoor channels for money laundering. He's wanting backdoor channels for a spy network in America. Okay, this is where I started. Literally, I had a white candle burning when I was doing this reading, and when I got to this part, the candle went black. Okay? Black. It was a glass candle, went black. Jet black. So, he wants, like I said, relief from sanctions. He wants access to, this is a card of getting access. He wants access to channels of information, channels of money, to money launder, to also place a spy network, to get information, and to get information from our government, from our Pentagon. Jesus. I don't know if this was all on the record, guys, for the interpreters to know about. This is what the messages that I'm getting from the cards, okay? That's another thing that threw me off, because I wanted to know what was up front and what's really hidden. And it's kind of all over the place, so I can't control this reading. It's just kind of coming out wherever it wants to come out. So, like I said, he wants to understand, as I was talking about before and I got sidetracked, he wants to keep Trump in a state of perpetual anxiety, because that's part of how he's able to control Trump, with his leverage over him. And he never shows, psychologically, he never shows satisfaction from what Trump gives him. It's like the daddy thing all over again for Trump. So Trump can't please him. You can't. Here, this is a card. You can't please this person. And so you're always trying to please the person that you can't please, who has authority over you, because you want to, in a sick way, make them proud of you. But also through understanding Trump, who has such a powerful sway over the whole world and America and Americans by what's going on, it's got us all unbalanced in the state of anxiety. He's able to also understand through the reports given from Trump where our weaknesses are, where our stresses are, where our fears and worries lie. And so he's able to control through cyber conditioning and control America and the American vote. And you see what I'm saying? This guy's deep. Putin's no joke. I feel like Putin may be having some worries and anxieties in his own life about something, maybe about I pulled another card, but did I take it out? So I'm recreating this as I go, you know, because like I said, I threw this reading away before I actually recorded it. So I think it was this card. The next half of this reading will be a little bit more organized. This is the one I'm trying to reconstruct. So I got this widow card here. And so I feel like Putin has some kind of anxiety or uncertainty about his wife. Maybe he might make his wife as a widow. So he may have some kind of anxiety about his own life. Or he's worried about something about funds, money, a future project. That might be why he's angry. Something is delayed. He can't get the funds. He can't get the access that he needs to carry out a future project, a plan. It's got him really upset and worried. Sorry, really upset and worried. This card can just mean separation, so he's separated from what he needs, and he wants Trump to bring it to him, to make it available to him. I feel like he doesn't have enough liquid assets to fund some kind of project, and he also doesn't think that Trump is up to the task mentally and physically. He's expecting Trump to fail very shortly. So he's just getting what he can out of him, as much as he can, before Trump completely explodes. I think that Trump did bring up the nerve agent issues, the deaths, because we have the widow card here, and we have the agent, spies, agent, and this is like nerves, getting on your nerves. So I think that Trump did bring up the nerve agent issue, nerve poisoning issue, but he denied it. He denied it. And Trump accepted his denial. Trump forgave him for it. And like I said, I feel like Putin is taking on the role of the berating father that you can't please. He's happy with progress, but he's not showing it to Trump. He's putting a lot of pressure on Trump so that Trump will do whatever he's got to do to make it happen. With the widow, Putin feels that Trump is doomed to fail. And I feel like, in a sense, I'm getting a sense of just from Putin's brain, I feel like he's tormented by failure. Putin hates to fail. He hates to fail. Failure is unacceptable. So here's some more messages that I'm getting. I feel like there's some kind of a release to send a bad message, or to act, to relay a bad message, or to act obnoxiously, to get on nerve circuits, the nerve circuits of my enemies. Through secured channels, or areas once off limits to me or prohibited to me. So he wants, I feel like for Putin, I feel like this is where I started channeling his thoughts, right? This is where I had to stop. I feel like he wants no limits to spread his poison, his propaganda, and his nerve agents, his nerve poison. He wants access to certain areas that are secured and off limits, parts of our government, and not only and certain secured areas, territories in the world, so that he can spread, so that he can spread out, okay, so that he can take over, so that he can be in charge. This is a card of Judgment. Is a card of, do I have another card that depicts it better? Yeah. Judgment is a card of, I can annihilate you, or I could forgive you. It's the God card. So he wants that power. Anything that is against Putin's truth, he wants to annihilate. If it's not his truth, he wants to annihilate it. And his truth, when you have the Page of Swords, this is a liar. So his truth is a lie to everybody else. His truth is I feel like he wants no limits to spread his poison. And that poison is communist views, communist rule. That poison is actual poison, nerve poison, that he wants to spread his authority, and that he will kill or annihilate anyone that gets in his way. He also wants access to secret codes. This looks like your locker at school, and this is your combination. He wants secret codes to unlock. Safe spaces and security secrets. I feel that Trump is pretty much, see, this is Emperor and the Four of Pentacles. I feel like Trump is pretty much Putin's slave. And I feel like he wants to, Putin wants to, he's impatient. There's something that he's upset about. He's impatient because he wants to spread some sort of, he wants to get on the nerves of our security channels, our energy channels, our web channels. He wants to spread his untruths through those channels, right? And I'm seeing something here about wanting to start a spy net. I'm sure he has a spy network, but somehow he wants his spy network to have access in our government. Okay? There's one more thing that I got from this first reading before I quit. He's easily able to get Trump to open up and release these secrets. This is the guy who has all the power and authority and command, and this is someone who's opening up and releasing now. So Trump is his bitch for show, for show. There was something else I'm trying to rack my brain and remember about this reading. Yeah. Okay, it was over here. Bear with me, guys. I told you this was not going to be cute. Four of Pentacles reverse. This is about a release of energy, a release of power, control, and dominance. Letting go, feeling safe enough to let go, to open up and to do so, right? With his good friend, with Big Daddy here. So he's sharing information. Trump is sharing information with Putin. This card is also a card of extreme greed, insecurity, and fear of loss, and that's why he's doing it. He's hanging on so tightly to what he has, and he feels like Putin is the one who can benefit him and help him the most to hold on to what he has. All right, there's definitely abuse of power and control here. Trump wants absolute power and wealth. He wants to express himself and his ideologies and rules without restraint. He also wants money to secure power, and that's something that he wants from Putin. This is in private, to win the next election, and for Putin to help him realize his plan. This is someone who has a strategy or a plan. For Putin to strategize and to plan it, probably. He's greedy, and he wants to hold on to his position for Pentacles reverse, and he wants funds released, using that for leverage and control over others, and that's probably from NATO. These are my notes, guys. And like I said, the messages were just coming out. One more card I got to pull out. Hold on. This one. I think it's this one. This was in the reading. Some money. Some money talks about Trump doesn't have a legitimate claim. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have a legitimate claim to his seat of power. And he knows that. That's why he's being dominated by Putin. Putin's the one who put him in a seat of power. Trump knows he doesn't have a legitimate claim. Thus, this is saying that Putin somehow was able to affect the election. And Trump knows it. A lot of money. Oh, God. See, if I took the time to try and sound this out before I recorded it, I knew I was going to stop. So that's why it's like this. It's all right. It's okay. A lot of money came out too as a clarifier. This is about economic advantage over others, realization of an empirical vision to stay in power, which is what Trump wants. He wants to stay in power. And Putin, if you're listening, Putin, Trump's got a secret. He wants to assume absolute power. And when he does, when he gets control of the justice system, and he feels like he has absolute power and control, then he's not going to be beholden to you anymore. He's not going to feel like he's not going to be afraid of you anymore, because then he'll know he has more power, more money, more force than you, and so he wants to overthrow you, Mr. Putin, when he's assumed that role. So both Trump and Putin are disloyal to one another, and they're fake friends. They're fake friends. And I think Trump in some alternate universe feels like, well, when I have this, then I can, I could pull a Sith Lord move. I can't remember the name of the Sith Lord in Star Wars. Darth Sidious? Was that the name of the Sith Lord in Star Wars, or was that the one that the Sith Lord overthrew to become Darth Sidious? I don't remember. Okay, but that's what I'm feeling. You know, guys, if Trump had kinky hair and dark skin, this would never have gotten this far, you know? I don't know. I'm so fucking disgusted with America and with what's going on, what's being allowed to go on right now. I mean, I always knew that America was racist. I always knew that America was biased to the rich. I had no idea to what extent. To the extent, I mean, you guys are getting lied to every day like you're idiots. And we're just taking it. When is this abuse going to stop? Because it's psychological abuse. And that's part of Putin's plan too. It's a psychological warfare plan. In addition to a cyber warfare, it's psychological warfare. We got to nip it in the bud. Are we going to be able to vote him out? Because these next elections, looking like they're going to be rigged. So if you, I don't know. I'm just stop right there. I don't know, but it's getting me upset, and I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm come back with the second part of this reading. Okay, hi guys. I'm back. I'm sorry for my rant. I'm sure we all have our moments where we feel like we would just want to throw something, and I'm having those moments. But this is my second reading. I did it on the same subject, right? The first one that I just shared with you, the one that's all discombobulated, I chucked, but I still have my notes, and I just wanted to share with you some of the messages that I got because I think they're important, especially about Putin's plans, right? So this one is a little bit more organized, although it's still not like I normally wouldn't have posted this. Because I feel like I want to check this one too. But I'm going to just go ahead and do it so I can be over with it. This is the subject matter of what did Putin and Trump discuss in secret at the Helsinki one-on-one meeting, when they were one-on-one, behind closed doors, okay? So, this is Putin, this is Trump. This is Putin, this is Trump, okay? Merchant. The Merchant and the Four of Pentacles reversed. In a sense, this is Putin, and then this is Trump's energy next to him. So Putin he's super smart and shrewd here. He's all about business. He's acting like Trump's equal in power and acting like his boss, because this is a boss card. In this meeting, Putin took the leadership role, and he wants Trump, everything is past tense, even if I may refer to it as present or future. It's all past tense. This is what took place at the meeting, okay? So he wants Trump to open up what was held back or secured from him or off limits to him, some kind of portal or channel, okay? I think I said that in the last reading. Also, he is in it for the money. He's wanting some money or some funds released, okay? And he's waiting for it. It's a card of waiting, and you're upset about waiting. So, both Putin and Trump are in it for the money. Fuck country. He gave Trump a job to do. This is about getting a job. and he expects Trump to do it. And Trump wants to give him a job to do, right? Probably to fix the election. So, this card tells me that Putin is very skilled at reading minds. Hold on, guys. I just need to grab my glasses. I used to have 20/20. Now I can't see shit. All right. This tells me that Putin is very skilled and adept at reading minds. He's very psychic, and he actually literally can read minds, read mannerisms, read gestures, body movements, body language. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And he's very skilled at getting people to open up and to release information. The Four of Pentacles is when it's reversed. Here it's upright. It's you're holding back, you're clenching, you're holding on, and here you're giving it up, you're releasing it. Or you're also you're so super greedy. It can be the flip side of that as well. But here I'm feeling like it's giving up and getting funds. So this card is basically saying Putin he's either getting funds or he's giving funds or both. And he always expects a return on his investment. This is a return on an investment. Like a loan shark. He's cold, he's calculating. He's not Trump's friend. He's not America's friend, despite what Trump tells us. Okay? And he's putting Trump in a risky position, forcing or demanding release from sanctions, getting them lifted, or access to secured money, secured territories, information, and evidence. He's saying to Trump with these cards, prove it, risk it, or I'll release it. This is Trump. And this is Trump, and yeah, this is Trump. Trying to control this reading. The reading will not be controlled. Trump is deliberately choosing to ignore the wise advice of his counsel, claiming not to take sides, but in reality, not taking a side is taking a side, not making a decision is making a decision, and he took a side. He took a side. He didn't take ours. So he was between a rock and a hard place. That's part of the risky position that Putin put him in. He was in a rock and a hard place, between a rock and a hard place, and he tried to have it both ways, but he ended up really denying and showing his true hand. He's trying to keep Putin waiting on something. He's keeping Putin waiting about something. This is a card of waiting too, being at a stalemate, and Putin's not happy about that. I wonder what that could be. In the meantime, he tried to belittle our intelligence as Trump. Trump is belittling our intelligence and brushing off our intelligence warnings by refusing to acknowledge Putin's crimes strongly. He mentioned the election meddling. He mentioned the nerve agents. He mentioned the 12 indicted individuals. But when Putin looked at him real hard and sternly and denied it, he just caved and accepted Putin's denial. Happiness reversed is just that. Trump ain't happy. He knew this was going to be bad, and he struggled with it. He waffled and he tried not to deny, but he ended up denying in his communication. And that was the best he could come up with. That was the best he could do. Although he actually believes that he can survive the backlash. Trump has a lack of self-control, a lack of self-mastery, and he also has some kind of addiction or addictive vice based on the meaning of this card. And I trust my Sibillas. So I've seen this before, and I'll say it again. I know he doesn't drink, but there's something he's abusing. This card says that Trump was putting on a false show of friendship and flattery to Putin, and for us to see. And he went way too far. He went way off the deep end due to his ginormous ego, lack of preparation, and stupidity. And here's the secret, and I already told you the secret in the last reading, that Putin's that Trump really resents Putin. This is a card of intrigue, right? They're celebrating the win of this guy, but they're really talking behind his back. And they're envious or jealous, and they want to be where he is, or they want what he has. So it's just a matter of time before they betray him. So that's what this is. Trump talks a good show to Putin and acts like his friend, but secretly he wants to betray Putin in the end. And I already told you how I think he wants to go about doing that. Kind of unrealistic and silly, but the guy's, if you don't think the world we're living in now is not bizarro land, unrealistic and silly, I don't know what is. So anything's possible, right? The Magician reversed. This is the card of blackmail, cons, trickery, lying, deceit. Both Putin and Trump are guilty of this energy. Also, it's a card of the hypnotist, the cult leader, right? Someone with purely selfish motives. So this is describing Trump's actions. He's rushing in to make quick deals with Putin for short-term gains, saying what he has to say, doing what he has to do, just to get what he needs to get right now, just to make that quota, sell that car. He's making deals that he knows he can't deliver. He's making promises he knows he may not be able to keep, but he has to keep his slave master happy. So, and Trump is thinking to himself, who knows? I've gotten away with all this. I might be able to pull it off. I might be able to pull a rabbit out my hat, like the magician can. The housemaid is a servant, an employee. That's in Trump's section. This is the boss card, and this is the servant card. This is Trump's card, and this is Putin's card. Alright, I just had some sugar, so I my mood's a little bit heightened. It's funny, it's like I always get so happy after I eat sugar. Okay. It's not funny. This is not funny. The housemaid tells me that Trump is Putin's bitch servant. And this is a card that's always connected with money. The flowers mean money. When this card is around certain other cards, it can mean big money, like millions. So this card is connected with money, a money offering, a gift of support. Bringing someone money, bringing Putin money. And there's a woman who was present during this meeting, a colleague. This is a colleague. She gave help and support to Trump during the meeting. Tried to offer, I think, some sort of structure. So this is probably the interpreter. Trump and Putin exchanged information, secrets, for money. And they agreed on some kind of contract or deal. I think the interpreter may not have been present for some of their interactions or some of their conversations. Because this handkerchief card means she's saying goodbye to something. So she might have been out of the room or not privy to some parts of the conversation. And I think I said that in my interpreter reading that is posted right now on YouTube. So, I mean, that's good. The cards are kind of confirming themselves for me. This card also says that we in general, the public, will soon come to know about this woman. Maybe her face, come to know more about her. She's going to be more in the news. She's already in the news, but I did this reading yesterday, so it's already compiled since then. I can't get them up quick enough. I'm sorry. I'm slow. I'm too detailed, and that's why I'm slow. Trump discussed how to keep and maintain his position and to gain even more power with Putin's help. And this is a gift of great value. He wants a gift of great value from Putin. There may have been another woman in discussion between the two men. A woman who was of noble birth or a noble family, either to Trump or to Putin. She represents a precious object to one of these men. Okay? So while Trump is a short-term guy, with the Emperor over here in Putin's side, Putin is a long-term kind of guy. He sees far ahead. He sets a strategy for the long term, and his strategy is for world dominance and to show dominance on this world stage, which he was very successful at. Okay, again, this is a card of could be a ruthless ruler, and it's a big boss card. You got both boss cards in on his side of the reading. He's the power, not Trump. How the fuck did this happen? Putin is our president. Trump sold us out. This is an exchange. This is a purchase. Okay. I'm going back to my dark place. Let me stop. Woo, woosa. Trump is most definitely compromised, blackmailed. It's about money, as well as well as some sort of sexual compromise. I don't see it here as much as I saw it in the other cards, but you know. It's about money and about some girl. It could be about Ivanka. Ivanka might be compromised. And that might be part of what Putin is holding over Trump in some way. Because she works for and she carries information. She might have carried some information to Putin. So... And I mentioned in the last reading that Putin has every single meeting and every single talk with Trump or anyone involved around Trump recorded. So he has all kinds of compromise on him. He has great influence over Trump. And he's commanding and he's directing him. He's making executive orders through him. For him. It's his rules, his way, or the highway. So if Trump doesn't deliver what he wants, he's going to get that chop. So right now, he can benefit Trump, but he could easily have a change of heart. In an instant, he could release the Kraken. There's some sort of change or transformation or travel here to a foreign place. He may have talked with Trump about traveling to some place together, or he may have discussed with Trump the automobile, motorcycle industry and their relocations, or he discussed with Trump trade, how things are imported and exported, and how he could have more control over that, or how they could have more control over that. And how to change or transform a situation, maybe a legal situation for Trump. He also may have discussed with Trump how to travel to see or to send this woman of interest to him. That might be the Patina woman who's been arrested. Someone is saying, I feel like someone is saying, that this woman was approved and sent to help us. Whatever that means. So she may work for Putin by transferring money. Or this is a rise in status, or helping others to rise in status. So it might have been that Bettina woman. So now let's go over to the next section. I'm going to scoot the cards over a bit. This one came out sideways, so I'm going to kind of keep it sideways. Alright, can you see everything? Alright. Okay. So now we have, this is Trump, this is Putin, right? So Trump has got the sick man. He's very uneasy. He could be even ill. The stress is taking its toll, or it's something more. He's not well. Metaphorically, the card could just be saying that he's unfit to rule. He's unfit to be our president. And this is not only through the fact that he's a traitor, but because he's incompetent to rule. But the card is saying, with the Ace of Wands here, that his vitality is of question. Okay, his vitality is not straight. It goes up, it goes down. Right now it's kind of down, at least at the time of this meeting. Okay, and that physically he's not sleeping. He could be taking pills to get rest, or to get his rest, or to still his mind. So he may be taking or abusing sleeping pills or Adderall. I feel like he can't concentrate. And that may be what he's addicted to here with the happiness card reversed. This is an addiction card. This card can also be representing, metaphorically, the health of our country, since Trump is our president. In the cards, he represents our country. And so we as a country and we as the people are sick and getting sicker, right? You just heard my little rant there. Things are going to get worse. Could be representing our country as the health of our country, and our relationship with our allies is full of unrest. Everyone is ill at ease. The guy here in this picture, which represents Trump, he's sick alone on this bed. There's no one around but memories and pictures. There's no one around to comfort him. There's no friends. There's no allies. So he's discussing with Putin American vulnerability and American weaknesses, our susceptibility to attack, our economy, which he brags about and bragged to him about, because he needed something to feel powerful about, and which he's not even, which he really can't take credit for. That was Obama's doing. But he's bragging about the economy, and those are some of the subjects that he discussed with Putin. And maybe perhaps they're discussing together how they can weaken or sicken the country or sicken the world economy in order to have more control over it. Because I feel like they're discussing trade issues, tariff issues, import, export. And you know that these tariff wars are causing the economy to, get shaky and people to get nervous, and it may lead to a dip in our depression. A dip in our economy. Did I say depression? Might lead to a depression. Huh. All right. What Putin is forcing him to do is having a sick effect on him, and it's having a sick effect on our allies and on the world in general and America. There's so much unrest. Trump is toxic, Putin is toxic, and they're both rife with corruption. Both he and Putin are pathological liars, and together they are spoiling the world and tainting our democracy. Okay? When I'm holding a card up, these are the meanings of the cards, and that's why I'm saying it while I'm holding the card up. Trump may be under the care of a physician or visiting a hospital or a doctor soon. I think I mentioned that in the last reading, or one of my most recent readings. I feel like his health is an issue, is getting kind of shaky. The whole situation, the world, NATO, America's economy, Trump's health, democracy, his presidency, everything is kind of going into a state of crisis. Not kind of, it's going into a state of crisis like a ticking time bomb. This is the quiet before the storm, guys. Things are about to get worse. And one of my other readings said that. I'm kind of like overlapping because I did these all in one day. But that's what this card means, so it's confirming another reading. Things are going to backfire. It's going to cause a lot of great damage to all associated, to all involved. The Ace of Wands here is confirming that Trump is sick and tired, that we're all sick and tired and frustrated, and that Trump's health is on the decline. It also refers to there's some sort of plan, idea, or project that is so wild that was proposed to Trump by Putin, or maybe it was proposed by Trump. I don't know who proposed it, but there's some sort of crazy, wild plan, idea, or project that here in Trump's mind is going to have to be put on hold. It's kind of like not likely to succeed. Trump doesn't have a lot of faith in it. It's succeeding, but it was kind of like a deal that they agreed on, right? And the reason why Trump doesn't think it will be successful is because of the backlash of this meeting, because of the pushback, or because it's so outrageous that it couldn't possibly work out. He knows it's outrageous. I feel like Trump lacks enthusiasm and confidence that this plan will succeed or this project will succeed, so it might be a plan or a project that was proposed by Putin. But again, Trump is like, you never know, so I'll put it out there. He's like a devil may care, you know. If you hit on 100% of women, you know, 1% might. I'm trying to think. I'm such a dork. I'm trying to think of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I don't remember the line where the guy who I don't even know. The guy is basically saying getting sex is all about percentages. You know, you just keep trying. You just keep trying. Something's going to work out, and call it a success. And forget about all the failures. You're going to get sex. So anyway, I'm a dork. Oh, right. Where am I at? So, 7 of Wands and the Peacock. Oh, this is Putin's card, guys. Putin is holding this plan. Look, he's holding this wand in his hand. This is Putin holding the wand, the deal, the proposal that they agreed on. And he's holding it. And he's wanting to push it forward and to advance it. But there is a lot of pushback. Right? It may have something to do with land, territories, occupation of territories, defenses, channels, routes, I don't know. So I think he's defending his right to occupy some territory or a country, or he wants the right to occupy a territory or a country. He stands in conflict to opposing voices to setting this plan or project in action. He may also want something to come overseas to him. There's blocks to this. That might be the ambassador that he's wanting, or the other people. Basically, he's wanting America to extradite what he calls his war criminals to him. Motherfucker. Sorry, guys. I'm just letting it fly. This is a private video. This is not for everybody to view. And, you know, those of you who support me, you know that you'll forgive me for some curse words. I'm sure you will. So, even though he stands in conflict and there's pushback, he's not going to back down. He's really going to try to push this through because it was agreed upon in this meeting. So he's going to put his foot down. And it's some kind of strategic move of occupation that gives Putin rights over some territory or water route or channel of information or trade. That's the best I can do to sort out what it might mean. With the peacock, it looks like Putin's going to win. If he continues to fight it and not back down, this is a card of victory and this is a card of invincibility. So there's victory here for sure. He wins a right. That's scary. And he will be really happy about his good fortune, despite some other setbacks. So some other plans go on hold, but there's something that he does get through that other people will not like, and he's going to be really happy about that. Because whatever it is, I feel like it's going to open up some new routes, some new doors, new opportunities, new associations, more wealth, and give him more status and power. He's going to be quite smug about that. This is a card of being smug, elitist, proud, haughty. It's a big, huge conquest for him, a feather in his cap. With the reunion card as Trump's card, Trump is promising to go the distance for Putin, or to travel with Putin somewhere in the near future, and he's trying to placate Putin and make it up to him. He's trying to placate him, and whatever plan or actions or promises that he made to Putin, he knows that he may not be able to keep these promises. He knows that it ultimately may not be up to him, but he's making those promises anyway. So this is him trying to please both parties. But you know what the Bible says. You know, I can't quote it exactly, but you can't serve two masters. You will love one and despise the other. So he chose his master. Look, the weight of the ball is in Putin's direction. We're up in the air. We don't know where we are. Okay? So I feel like he knows that ultimately his decision may not be enough to carry out their promises or to make something happen, but he's going to go ahead and make the promise anyway. Also, I feel like there may have been a scheduling timing for some kind of a date or an appointment, either to travel together or to have another secret meeting, or to put plans in progress. So they're working hand in hand like a couple on world issues and on NATO issues. Trump is juggling and he's shifting priorities with or for Putin, and like I said, they're scheduling how events are going to play out, how they're likely to play out, tossing ideas around, and he's definitely in bed with Putin. They're more than good friends. They're partners in crime. And he discussed with Putin how to solve his lawsuit problems and the possibility of sharing evidence between them, even souls, because wands for me can be souls, people, even souls between them, regarding the legal issues. So, and he doesn't think that's going to work out. He doesn't really think it is, but he's like, you never know. I'll ask. My God. Gran Signore is the president card. In this case, President Putin could also be standing for President Trump. But it's in Putin's side of this reading. So it's representing Putin. Putin is really standing tall right now. Because he knows he's pretty much in charge of it. Like, he's the world leader. Wow. Putin is showing concern for something. He's looking deeply into something, maybe showing some kind of concern for a woman. I said there is a woman here of noble birth or noble family, maybe related to him, or a friend, someone close to him. He's concerned about this woman. He wants to look more closely into this woman's situation, or for Trump, the president, to look more closely into this woman's situation. This could be Bettina, the woman who was arrested as a Russian spy, an undeclared agent. So that could be her. It could also be representing a wife, mother, or daughter, or a major player in world politics. It could be representing Hillary Clinton, because she should have been the true president. Maybe they were discussing how to, if it is Hillary, they may be discussing how to still further use her to advance Trump in the next election. Now, with the Judgment card, I've learned, guys, because I'm growing in my talents and skills, and I once said that I saw an indictment coming for Trump, and it didn't come. There was a summons, though, and I corrected that, but I didn't correct it in the recording because it was already recorded. But I corrected it in the comments that as soon as I delivered the message, I was like, I don't think it's an indictment, because it was a justice card. It wasn't the judgment. The Judgment card is an indictment card. So I feel like this woman is indicted. Or there may be some presidential indictment announcement made about Putin or Trump. Don't get excited. It may not be that. It may be that they just discuss what to do if that did happen, okay? What I really think about these cards and why the Judgment card is here, because this card came out first, and of course, since it's a people card, I asked for another one just to kind of get more layers. What I really think that these cards are saying is that Putin is very psychic, and he has a deep care and concern for this woman. He wants Trump to forgive past indiscretions, infractions, sins, crimes, or wants immunity for this woman. He wants some kind of forgiveness granted. I think for this woman, because there is a desire to help and to protect her. Also, I feel like he is wanting to look more deeply and privately into the information of our country. Not only our legal system, but individuals, the people, everyone's private information. He wants access to that. So that he can help Trump attain and maintain his presidency, providing him with money and generous help like cyber influence. And I feel like he's making, like I said before, executive orders, presidential orders, but they're coming from Putin. He's making Trump's presidential orders. I don't know if this, I don't think this was discussed in front of the interpreter outright. This got to be, it can't possibly be. I mean, but you never know, guys. I try to put common sense behind these readings, and sometimes common sense doesn't work. When I put common sense behind it, I chuck it, I throw it out. But as we have seen and we have come to find out, anything is possible in this crazy, bizarro, parallel universe that we are now living in. So, I feel like he may also be telling Trump who to pardon, who it's wise to pardon, or how to, or where to put his executive orders. So in reality, Putin is our president. He's Trump's boss, his big boss, and his little boss. He's Trump's boss. And he can provide and protect and heal this sick man if he wants to. So we're really in danger of the election going foul. It's very important not to just sit back and wait to see to shift power, to think that we can shift power after the November elections, because I feel very strongly that is going to be tampered with. So our government needs to do what it needs to do outside of Trump to protect that, and we as individuals need to rise up and make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this extra, and I'm not going to say I'm sorry. You know the drill. I did the best that I could, and that's the information I got. We're going to be okay. I keep saying that because the cards say that, but there are days when I question that. But I'm going to go ahead and believe that we are going to be okay. But we're going to have to make that happen. It's not going to just happen by itself. All right. Blessings.